I ended up making it, becoming a full member. And honestly, is the best and worst day of my life. This is PopKorn, and we're chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got PopKorn.
I've been around dudes who cut their fingernail too short and can't ride their bike.
Yeah, they're like, I gotta go change the kitty litter.
Hey, bro, I've been stuck in snowstorms. I got permanent broken bones. Like, I'm riding right now, and this pops in and out. Like, so it just was what it was. I showed a little vibrato by going down there all beat up and broke up and then just it wasn't no right away thing. It wasn't like your fever's gone. Okay, let's have a patch party. You know what I mean? I was still a prospect. I didn't get no extra love or I was still a prospect.
You
I
didn't get no
wrecked my bike,
special treatment.
but I didn't wreck it riding for the club. I wrecked it going to get money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was like a non-issue. But eventually, a few months after that, I ended up making it, becoming a full member, and honestly, is the best and worst day of my life, man. You know what I'm saying? It's everything you hoped it to be, but you got all this, pressure on you now. You know what I'm saying? You got no excuses. You got zero excuses. If you got an excuse, what are you doing with a cut on? You know what I mean? Shouldn't you have got rid of all them excuses before you made it? You know what I'm saying? So I educated myself in a lot of history. You know what I mean? Respectfully, will admit that I don't know it all, but I'm even now that I don't ride with the club. I'm still infatuated with the history. Still try to educate myself.
Yeah.
There's protocol, man. I'm not new to this. You know what I'm saying?
Have you seen a lot of people come and go, prospects and members?
Like I said, the garden weeds itself. I did a lot of paying attention to myself in my program. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, it mattered to me to preserve a brother. If like I said, I've paid club debts, I've paid dues, I've gotten hotel rooms so brothers can come from out of town with no lodging. I mean, I've done a lot of for the what I mean, for the club. You know what I mean? And I still continue to assist. You know what I'm saying, with brothers that need help in anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm there for them as much as I can be. Basically, fast forward the complete situation to me not being in a cut. It was not a request. It was highly, you know, I had a lot of brothers that definitely did not want me to go. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of abrupt. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. I love having fun, and I love being a pagan, and I love being there for brothers. But and this sounds like something I should have thought about before I ever put my foot in the water. But I have kids. You know what I'm saying? And I understand other club members have kids, so that's not my point that I'm making. But I have kids that needed me 100% at that time, not as mom and dad. I had to take custody of my children. You know what I'm saying? Full custody. And anybody who rides in the club knows how the courts look at us. You know what I'm saying? It's a black eye right away, man. If you're struggling for a divorce or any kind of get your kids in any kind of custody battle or anything like that, you could almost kiss your goodbye if you're a member. You know what I mean? And I just distanced myself as quickly as possible when I seen that my number one needed me. You know what I'm saying? I make a promise to you, I got to keep it, right? Well, I made a promise to him first. You know what I'm saying? That's my son. And I ain't catching not a drip of slack from the club. They ain't ever had one person say anything negative about my decision. You know what I'm saying? I get told, PopKorn, go raise them babies, man. You know what I'm saying? They see me. You know what I mean? My life is a movie, man. I'm at work every day. I'm a heavy presence on social media. You know what I mean? I'm loud and proud about whatever. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Just that's the cut and dry of it. I can't give 110% to my kids being in a club, and I can't give 110% to my club when my kids need to be raised. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh, it matters how I feel about my grandkids if I might pick it back up again. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
might be the next
Was
excuse and
was
shit. You know what I mean?
like was your wife happy when you became a member? Was
Yeah,
your family happy about it?
the deal is, man, the lifestyle has so many different avenues. I know members that don't drink, don't do anything. They're you know what I mean? Everything you wouldn't even imagine that they was living that life. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they're just so solid dudes, man. Crane operators. You know what I mean? Like people that got to be sober and you know what I mean? Dudes, heavy machinery. You know what I'm saying? They don't let people just any lame ass dude up on that. You know what I mean? And then of course everybody got their knuckleheads. Well, I was with a person who was a lot younger than me, so they was more interested in probably the more attractive side of the lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm not a church mouse. We already discussed that, but I've already lived that life too, so it's not as glamorified by me. It's not glorious to me. You know what I mean? I've really been in that, so I know where it ends. You know what I mean? I don't need to. I don't need to tiptoe around.
Do law enforcement mess with you guys a lot when you were out there?
Gang task force came, said hi to me. They try their little intimidation. You know, and then getting pulled over was the new thing. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. But I don't give a. I mean, if that's the best thing you got going for yourself right now is talking to me, just tell your old lady you did it, and we're good. Yeah, no, it was cool. I had a really good time in the club, man. I really did. I don't know what the fuck I really thought, being in a club was gonna be. There's not really one word to describe it, you know what I mean? Because you're dealing with different levels and you're dealing with so many different guys and to me, you know, I just if I had time or maybe some other time I could show you some photos I got. But I inherited all the photos from my dad. There's 50 tents on the hillside with 50 bikes. There's wet t-shirt contest in the river. There's all you could eat watermelon contest with the kids, and pig roasts and live bands, and you know what I mean, just uh, bed rolls tied on the back of every single bike. You know what I mean? You don't see that no more. People ride bikes to hotels and airports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I thought it was going to be. I fell in love with the honest to God culture of it. One thing that I'd listen to my dad say all the time, like I said, he was racist. He would bitch about black street gangs and how motorcycle clubs are being called gangs or starting to be affiliated type gang style, and it made him roll in his skin. He hated it. You know what I mean? Because he loved the aspect of riding with no shirt on or flapping in the wind. You know what I'm saying? Chugging beer out of a keg. Wearing dirty ripped jeans, counting quarters to fill your Harley tank up. Like, you know what I mean? I've heard of more side of the road fix it stories from my dad. I have heard none from the new generation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they
There's a
bring their
story one
bikes to
time.
get bring their bikes to go get worked on at a shop, right? They don't
Look,
there's no
hey, look.
wrenching.
So because I do work so many hours, and because I ain't got to prove, I pay to have my bike worked on because I ain't got, and it's just me. You know what I'm saying? I I have cords on my before I have no tread on my tires by the time I go get my changed or whatever. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you a story like I'm telling you about not wrenching anymore. I rode my bike. I'm in Spokane, Washington. I rode my bike to Mesa, Arizona. You know what I mean? Straight. You took off. You know what I mean? And I went in. I want to say it was like March. Okay, so not the brightest idea. You know what I'm saying? The trip down there, we caught this little gap of good weather. You know what I mean? Basically good weather all the way down there. You know what I mean? When we get there, basically there's some prospects there, and one of the members says, you know, it would be a good test is to put these prospects on these bikes, and tell them to beat us home. You know what I'm saying? Because we had a vehicle we can get into or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and send them on the bikes. Very reluctantly, you know, because that was the funnest ride I'd ever been on. You know what I mean? And I wanted to come back up through California and like that, but in the name of the team, you know what I mean, I had to vote the popular vote and let this prospect take my bike and put him on this mission to ride all the way back and beat us. We get a phone call about, I'd say, maybe 100 miles out of Spokane. You know, hey man, I'm on the side of the road, man. The bike's down. I got a flat tire. We said, where you at? I'm about, hour and a half out of Spokane. Oh, we ain't there for another 6 hours, man. We'll be there if you're gonna wait. You know what I mean? It's snowing, raining, slurry. It's miserable. It's miserable in the vehicle. I'm laying in the back of a pickup truck, freezing my ass off, wet as. It's a miserable trip. You know what I mean? And we come pulling up on this prospect, man, and he is frozen. You know what I mean? Just can't move his hands, can't untie his own boots. You know what I'm saying? He's popsicled out. You know what I mean? And where he was at on the freeway, you could see a clear shot to a gas station. You know what I mean? And he waited 4 hours for us to get there. You know what I'm saying? I would have pushed the damn bike at minimum.
Yeah, ran over there. I would have ran over there and said, hey.
Waited over, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But either way, we get the bikes loaded up and we get into Spokane and drop my bike off at the tattoo shop. There's a gas station on the opposite corner. And I'm old and fat and wore out. You know what I'm saying? And I just got off this long ass trip. I pushed the goddamn bike across the street by myself, got in the saddlebag. There was a patch kit, a plug kit in the saddlebag. You know, I'm fat, blind, all this shit. Got it done. You know what I mean? Air tire up and showed back up to the house to the old lady on a bike with a plug in the tire. You know what I mean? And that's
would it have a nail in it? Did it have a nail in the tire, son?
They ran something over on the freeway, put a hole right through it. You know what I mean? I don't even know. Whatever it was. I mean, but it ain't that hard to be a biker, you know.
I mean, that's just stuff you got to do when you're riding across the country.
Yeah, I mean, now my friend that was the out bad guy or whatever in the other story, me and him, we sat in the rain in 2 days, dude, and we broke a bike all the way down to the frame. You know what I mean? Front end off, swing arm off, motor out, tranny out, everything straight, pure frame. And with a book in 2 days, rebuilt the entire bike. You know what I'm saying? And that's my best memory ever. You know what I mean? Like, of course it was miserable with bloody knuckles in the rain, sitting in the yard. You know what I mean? Like getting paid in beer and his old lady bringing dinner out type. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But it was awesome. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Do you think it's possible that these clubs can ever coexist?